Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for doing this advisory coach sort of spotlight recording with me. When you think in general of the executives that you work with, and you think about overall the challenges they face in today's complex, ever-changing market, and the global complexity that we all face, and you think of advisor coaching and the value that brings, what are some of those challenges that in general leaders are facing that you think advisor coaching would be a really good fit for?
It's a common challenge I see all the time when executives are facing business transformation, which business which executive isn't facing that now, or mergers and acquisitions, which equally are ramping up. The issue is that the playbook that typically they're given, or frankly that they don't even have, but their consultancy might give them, runs out of answers in day two. The playbook is based on a set of principles and frameworks, and what I find is executives need answers that go beyond the playbook, that help them understand, how do I get stakeholder alignment when everyone's got different points of view on why we're doing this business transformation, whether the business transformation is needed. So getting that alignment, whether it's your board members, your leadership, your executive team, and their members to be bought in, the playbook doesn't answer that. And so what I have found, the common challenge that I'm helping executives with all the time is, when I don't have that playbook, how do I make decisions quickly? How do I get people on board? And you need someone who's been in that seat, who understands the dynamics of that and the pressure that you're under to answer those questions quickly.
Yeah, and what I hear a lot there is speed, right?
Absolutely. Speed, but efficiency. Because the important point is, you can have speed, but if you aren't confident in the answers, or that you've thought through all the ways that this could go, you can have speed and fail. So to me, it's both the speed and efficiency of the answer, and really feeling like you've pressure tested what the different scenarios could be.
And one thing that I think is a great opportunity for us to sort of reinforce with clients about this program is, as an advisor coach, you're there as a thought partner, you're giving them perspectives, you're giving them ideas, you're getting them to think about the risks with the direction they're going in and different perspectives. You're a thinking partner based on your business experience,
Right.
as well as coaching the leader. They are ultimately still in charge of making the decisions. They
Yes.
own that.
Yeah, they are, but I find what I'm doing now as an advisor coach, I'm doing what I wish I'd had, because I was on the receiving end of consultants and coaches.
Right.
Right? The coach who says, "Oh, what do you think is the right answer?" I don't know what the right answer is. Or a consultant who would foist upon me PowerPoint templates and Excel spreadsheets and think the answers were there. So what I try and do as an advisor coach, what I would say I don't even just try, I do is to help them think through that decision making so they can get this to those decisions faster. I can ask them the questions because I've been in their seats, right? And I can even tell them from the room, and as they paint the scenario of who's questioning what, I can tell them, well, that's what this person's agenda is, because I've had to face that before. So you get faster decisions, faster stakeholder alignment, because we work together on what are the different competing agendas that need to be resolved in order to move forward, and less execution drag. That can be, particularly with a business transformation, delay can be your enemy. You've got to not only make the decisions, but be able to get people bought in and moving against that. So working with executives in real time on all of those scenarios, I wish I'd had that kind of a thought partner when I went through those.
That's such a great point, right? You can put yourself in the shoes of a leader and look back of how valuable this would have been for you. Thank you very much.
Oh God, I was like, where were you, Jayne, when I was leading my multi-billion-dollar M&A deals?
Yeah. We should have bought advisor coaching in 5, 10 years ago, is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In your mind, how is advice, and to give clarity to our audience, how is advisor coaching different from traditional executive coaching? What would you say?
I think first and foremost, an advisor coach helps you decide, and then helps you move forward because you feel confident in that decision, because we've pressure tested together, right? identify, here's some of the obstacles you might experience as a result of this decision. So having that thought partner that helps you have clarity and confidence around your answer versus, and again, this is not to disparage coaching because I've been on the receiving end of that as well, but that's more teasing it out of you. What do you think is right? And if you've never been through a large business transformation, or frankly, even a small business transformation or a merger and acquisition, having a thought partner that helps you better understand how to really consider all aspects of the decision gives you that confidence to move faster.
And while we're sort of just remind people, how many years experience have you had doing organizational transformations and mergers and acquisitions?
I'd like to say since I was born, Jane, but my entire career, the irony of my career is the first 15 years I was an advertising executive, but I worked with clients, Kraft, Bayer, Coors, all went through massive merger and acquisition deals. So I was on the other side of that, helping those brands and those executives to navigate that.
So, Jennifer, when you think about your own experience and why you're so valued as an advisor coach, not just the coaching where you're coaching the leader to be more effective on how they do things, how their mindsets are in the right place, their behaviors are showing up the most effectively, and even the leadership skills where they need to pull back or double down on. The advising piece is really about advising on the business aspect, and you understand that so well. So share with our audience what operating and leadership experience that you have that makes you a really good fit as an advisor coach, and what you would advise on.
So I've been on all sides of a business transformation or a merger and acquisition. I've been a corporate executive, and I experienced 3 multi-billion-dollar M&A deals, one as an acquired, one as a change agent brought in when the acquiring company acquired another company, and I was brought in to help lead that team through an integration that they had been left leaderless for about 18 months. So that was the second one. And then the third one, I was at a company about to launch a product when we were acquired by a private equity firm, which is its own unique event. So when I say I've been on all sides of the deal table or the business transformation, with each of those experiences, I learned both through my own failures and successes what it takes to lead through a time of transition and transformation. That the playbook that I found, where I found it missing, it's why I do what I do now. It's why I wrote the book, Now What? Survivor's Guide for Thriving Through Mergers and Acquisitions. Because the book was intended to answer the questions none of the playbooks that I'd received answered, right? How do you help people through what is truly an emotional roller coaster? When people are resistant to change, how do you get them on board and bought in? How do you help your leadership, who may have never done this type of transformation before, feel confident that they can not only lead their team, but confident in their own skill set? These are all the things that I covered in my book, and it's now what I do as a advisor coach, helping those leaders who are going through what I went through to not only answer the question today, but to anticipate the questions that they're going to have down the road and have confidence in understanding, okay, here's how we need to answer that, or here's how we need to think about it. Because I've been in the shoes of those executives, so I know what it's like.
Excellent response. Thank you, Jennifer. Excellent. Okay. When you think about this experience that you have as an advisor coach, and particularly doubling down on where you played more of the advisory role. So this program is a 3-month retainer where it is 3 months versus your typical executive coaching of 6 months, because speed is what these senior leaders are looking for. It's usually C-suite, C-suite -1, maybe SVPs and board members. So they're already pretty good leaders, but at times they are going to need coaching to improve that leadership. But a lot of the conversations are going to be around their need for the business advisory. So when you reflect back on the success you've had with clients, without sharing anything confidential, could you share an example of where the advisory was very successful and how you knew it was successful?
Well, what's interesting about that, and I won't reveal names, but a company that I helped most recently was going through a multi-billion-dollar acquisition. They were being acquired, and they were used to acquiring other people. So the president of the company was very visionary and understanding. I need to help set my people up because he said, I've got really smart people, but they're not used to this dynamic of now being acquired. So he initially brought me in to help his executives understand here's what's going to happen, right? The emotions people will experience, the behaviors you might see. How do you get people to focus on what they can control? And how I know it went well is that he kept inviting me back. So I did that for the executives. Then the head of HR said, "Oh my God, you need to come back and help our director level because they're facing different challenges." And I said, "Absolutely." So I came and did a whole one-day workshop with that team with the same guidance, right? How do you help not just your teams, but yourself? Because I also know at that level, you've got your own questions and frustrations and fears. So navigating that and understanding what's driving those so that you can be a better leader was critical. And then 3 of the leaders in that then brought me back in for a virtual session for all of their European team to say, okay, how do we specifically handle the culture integration piece? Because that's the part that they were most worried about. And so I did the change management for executives, the change management and leading yourself and others. And then that cultural component was critical. And each time I would say there's no better proof than when the president of the company keeps coming back and saying, we wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Our leaders are better set up for success as a result of the work you did.
Jennifer, that's fabulous. The success itself, but also the fact that you can really be valuable across the organization, because these transformations, these mergers or acquisitions affect everyone. I've been through multiple in big corporations myself, and even on a smaller level, being acquired. And so, yes, that is fabulous that clients know that you can go beyond the executive suite to sort of finish the job almost. Thank you.
Well, and you know what was
anything?
what I was just going to add, what for me the greatest compliment is when the leader stops asking, can you help us? And then just starts asking, who else on our team can you help? Right? That flip is when you really know you've been successful.
Yeah, that they know the organization and the leaders within it.
Right.
Yeah, fabulous. Is there anything that we haven't talked about or anything that you would like to emphasize either about the value or clarity of the advisor coach program or anything specifically more about you and the value you bring as an advisor coach?
I'd like to think they go hand in hand. I find, again, I was teasing you before, where were you, Jayne, when I needed you? For me, advisor coaching goes that critical next step because when you're an executive, you typically have a playbook. You've got a coach, and you've got your sea of consultants. But as I said, oftentimes, an executive doesn't need more reflection time and an Excel spreadsheet. What they need is a thought partner who knows exactly what they're facing, the high stakes pressure that they're under to make the right decisions. And, when an executive is facing that, they don't need more reflection time. What they need is confidence in the decisions that they're making. And so that's the energy that I bring to my partnership because I recognize the pressure that executives are under when they're trying to make a business transformation, not only bought in, but succeed by year 1. And so timing is critical and you need confidence in those decisions. So that for me is critical above all else.
Thank you. Your confidence, the confidence that you bring to executives, the credibility of where you can help them and the depth with which you can help them is priceless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.